is the recording, and we are recording, and of course I'm going over it again. Here it is. Going over this again. Does the homework end tonight or tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night.
Okay. Midnight tomorrow night. I couldn't remember if I made it today or tomorrow. Okay. Last test, is it already up? Have I already put that up?
Yes.
And when it's due on the 27th, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Can somebody tell me if the final is up?
Yes.
Okay, and it's due the 27th. Now, you are responsible up to 9.1. You're welcome. All right. The last test goes to 9.1, and the final exam covers everything from Unit 1 to 9.1. Now, that's pretty much, and don't forget, let's go ahead and go over this so I don't get, you got 2 attempts. And what do? I take the what?
Take the highest one.
Take the highest grade. I don't know how many's on the final. Has anybody looked? How many's on? Has anybody looked to see how many's on it? I can't remember. 25 or 33 probably.
I think it's 25.
It's 25? Okay. 25 questions, and you have 2 hours. I'm not a big fan of final exams, so I made it kind of easy for you. And you got a week to take it. Now let's talk about your grade, since there's going to be somebody that emails me and goes, "What's my grade?" Of course, I will not respond to that, because all you got to do is go to your what?
Grade book.
Grade book. After you have finished, this is a bonus question, remember? After you have finished all of your, oh, did anybody notice something that I did?
You opened everything up.
Yeah. Are you supposed to write me an email and say you're confused? Or are you
No.
supposed to take advantage of it?
Take advantage of it.
Exactly. Mr. Yates, if I was to give you a test back and I gave you an extra 20 points, would you come to me after class and say, Hubert, I believe you made a mistake on my grade. You gave me 20 points too much.
I think I'd be very quiet in that situation.
Okay. All right. So if you see something on My Labs Plus and it's to your advantage, are you going to bring that up to the instructor, or are you just going to take advantage of it?
Take advantage.
Exactly. It's called the real world. Please don't write me an email and say, I noticed that this was this and this was this. Do I need to do this? Or just go with it. Okay? So that way you can improve your grade if you needed to. But that ends tomorrow night or tonight? I think that ends tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow night.
Okay. So, and do I do that all the time? I should. I think I do. I think I do it with all my classes. So y'all should be able to take advantage of it. All right. Also, I really care about this semester, because especially with the online class and this class, because we have jumped from, a rowboat to a speedboat. And I'd like to know if there's anything. Now, I know I tell corny jokes, and I know I try to get y'all to interact with me, and y'all don't. So you don't have to put that in there. But, anything having to do with the class, if there's something I'm doing right, tell me. If there's something I'm doing wrong, tell me within, certain parameters. Like I had a student tell me one time that I shouldn't tell y'all you need to be doing your homework. I'm the teacher. I can tell you any damn thing I want to, considering the homework, test, or what I'm doing in class. So I don't consider that input. But you know, do you like the document cam versus the whiteboard? I haven't been able to use the whiteboard that much, but you know, what do you like about what I did? Is it better than the other classes you know, what are your other classes doing that you like that I'm not doing? Let me know. Okay, so whether evaluation or rate my professors, and I suggest you go to all your professors for future students and put whether they suck or not. And, you know, just think about that, okay? And that means the online class as well as this class. Okay. Any questions about the next coming week?
No.
Okay. All right, let's get to some questions. I got some questions. I started from the bottom and I'm working my way backwards. Okay, the reason I'm doing that is I think 9.1 is more important. So let's go to our handy dandy email. And I'm going to go down to the bottom. Now, I will tell you, like I always do, if it's a test question or not, and I'll tell you if it's, you know, worthy of a lot of time or not. This is 9.17/2. 9.17/2. And I'm going to turn my video off. So hopefully it'll help with the lag time. So give me a second. There we go. All right. This one says compute the critical value Z sub alpha over 2. Well, that's simple. All we have to do is pull up what? Our handy dandy Excel spreadsheet. Does everybody have this? Yes, because I what? I not only went over it with you, I also did what? I sent it to you.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you actually wrote it down. Oh my gosh. Okay, now, this is what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Mr. Yates probably sent this question probably before we did the index card. And
yeah, I think so.
that's not a problem. I kind of figured that before I even looked at it. This is not the one I was talking about. There's some actual problems that I've actually done in class that somebody has sent me. And I'm like, what did I do? I don't understand. This is not a problem we did in class, but we actually filled it out. So if you don't have this, I think you should get it. Okay. And how do you get it? Well, you go to the post page in Teams and it's right there. So what is, I don't forget what they were asking. 91%. 91% is 1.7. And that's the answer. 1.7. Could that be a test question? It could be. I doubt it because I put more mechanical problems on there. I put more problems with the mechanics. If I gave you one like this, it'd be a, you know, something to give you a couple of points. Okay. I don't know why that thing won't go away. It usually goes away. There it goes. All right. So that one's pretty much a homework question. So let's delete that one. 9.143/11. 9.143/11. And I do not like to put A through F or A through Z. If it's got A through Z, I really don't care nothing about putting it on there on the test. A group conducted margin of error. The group reported the race was too close to call. Use the concept. Okay. Remember, somebody asked this question. I think it was Miss Billy. She said, when you look at a poll, I'm going to pull my handy dandy thing up. Oops, that's the wrong one. There we go. When you look at a poll, and I'm going to make this a little bit smaller. You give me a second. When you look at a poll and it says plus or minus 3%, and you got John Smith with 47% of the vote, and you got Jane Brown with 44% of the vote. What can you tell me about the election between John Smith and Jane Brown? It's at a statistical tie. Why? Because the difference between these two numbers falls within the margin of what? Error. And this one goes to the trash can. Went to Walgreens. I gotta get back on Amazon. Walgreens is too high, especially for two. Okay, what is a statistical tie? A statistical tie is when the difference falls within the what? Mode. So let's read this one. A group conducted poll, blah, 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 blah. A received 49% of the vote. B received 45% of the vote. What's the difference? 4%. That's the difference, right? The margin of error is what? 4%. So this is a statistical tie. Now, somebody look at the answers. I'm not going to read all that. And tell me which one says we're at a statistical tie. Evidently, let's see if A is correct. That's somebody sent that as the answer. Nope, A is not correct. I didn't read it, so that's why I just checked it. So it's not A. I'm looking at
I think C maybe.
Okay, the margin of error suggests candidate A may receive between 45 and 53. B between 40 and 49. Because the poll estimates overlap when counting margin of error, the poll cannot what?
Predict the winner.
Okay, I want to ask you a question. What's the difference in the poll cannot predict the winner and a statistical tie? What's the difference? It's about the same thing. And you feel good about yourself. Is this a test question? No, not really. It's a good homework question. Now, is this a standardized test question? Yes. So you might want to write this one down and put standardized test question on it because it could show up on a TEAS or it could show up on a SAT, ACT, whatever, GRE, placement test for college, anything. Employment test, it could show up on an employment test. Okay. Next, that's 40. Okay, we got two. Okay, I thought we had 2 41s. All right, delete. This one is 9.14110. First of all, is it a test question? I believe this one is. Oh, yeah, this is a test question. Remember what I told you. If it asks for N or if it asks for a confidence interval, it's a test question. So write down the information. And it says in a poll, now what would I do on this one? First of all, write down what you're given. You're given, ooh, that marker's, I hate when you use a marker and it's been wore down. And it's real thick. I don't like that. I know, I'm a diva. There we go. Given. Well, P hat is 0.37. Therefore, Q hat, somebody give me Q hat. 0.63. Thank you, class. That one's going in the trash can. I'm near my back door in the garage, so I have a BA trash can back here, put cardboard and stuff in, and that's why I got a trash can beside my desk. All right. What else? Margin of error.
Margin of error.
Mo is equal to 0.05. And we've got a 95% confidence what? I want you to highlight, tell me while I'm highlighting, where is the dictator? There's four things right there. Which one's the dictator? I only said it like 500 times in the last couple of classes.
Is it the
Nobody-
confidence level?
Confidence level. Highlight it. That's your dictator. That tells you everything you need to know. That means you got to pull out your index card. Index card, 95% confidence level is what? 1.96. Go back. 1.96. I'm going to write that in red. Equals Z sub alpha over 2 equals 1.96. I'm going to put a, because that tells you, now the last question says at least how many people need to be surveyed. Now somebody tell me what variable that is. What variable? What letter?
N?
N, good job. So we're trying to find N. And I told y'all that there's two formulas you got to use. And one of them is N. N is equal to P hat times Q hat. Z over what? Z over E squared. Now I want you to plug and chug. If you can't plug and chug, then that means you're a failure in life. So take a minute and plug and chug. What do we always do when it comes to people? Do you round down or do you round up?
You round up.
You round up. I'll be putting it in. I need somebody to punch it in. I've already done it, but that's going to be 0.37 times 0.63 times 1.96 divided by 0.05 raised to the second power. And I believe I got 358.19.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Which, that's not the answer. The answer would be 359. Now that's what you would type into a homework test question or a test question. But if you were in the real world, cover your rear end, I would survey 400 people. What about 375? That'd be good. CYA, that'd be good. 360 would be kind of, getting by with the minimum. And we type in 359 and we feel good about ourselves. That is a test question, so make sure you write that one down. Next, delete. Okay, we got one that's repeating, so let's see which one that is. 3.9.1379. If you don't have a bunch of parts, oh God. Okay, this one is a test question. Now this is the one we did in class, I think. Not exactly, but somebody look in your notes Thursday or Wednesday. Let's see, what do y'all? Thursday or Tuesday. We did one of these, I think, because I had an A and a B. But it's okay because, like I said, it is a test question. So what do we write down first? What's given? All right, given. A researcher, blah, 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 blah. Margin of error equals 0.02. 90% confidence level. Well, I'm going to get my pink marker. That 90%, I stop right there and go, okay, I got to do what it tells me to do. That means I got to go to my index card. And my index card tells me 90% is 1.645. I'm going to write that in red because that's very important. RONA equals 1.645. That's your Z-score. C sub alpha over 2 is equal to 1.645, and we'll put that in a box.
Hubert,
And we
can't see
know-
anything.
I'm sorry, what?
The dash cam.
The dash cam.
Are you right?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, thank you. Hold on. There we go. Thank you, Miss Billy. Crap. There. Oh, is that what you call that, dash cam?
I think so. I don't know.
It's called a document cam, but dash cam is good. I could turn it up like this and it would be a dash cam. There's the door. I love those Progressive commercials. Have y'all seen those where they're having a conference call on Zoom
yeah.
or whatever? And the one where all of them are messed up and Flo is going, "Can you see me?" And she's all digitized. That is Tri-County Tech. That's a meeting at Tri-County Tech. Half of them don't even know what they're doing on Zoom or Teams or whatever. And there's only one person that does, and the other ones are trying to figure out, well, that's the way it was before Rona. But the one good thing about Rona, it got Tri-County Tech off their ass. So that's one good thing about Rona. Okay, here we go. So problem A gives us P hat is equal to 0.38. Therefore, Q hat is equal to what? Somebody tell me. I'm not going to do it for you this time. What's Q hat?
0.62.
Good job. Oh, that was Miss Woodward, wasn't it? Dang. 0.62. B. Nothing's given. So what is P hat? I told y'all this Thursday. If it's not given, what's the probability of heads?
0.5.
And if P hat is 0.5, what is Q hat?
5 as well.
0.5. Now, the formula says punch in 0.25, or I just tell students if there's nothing there, do 0.5 and 0.5 and you'll get 0.25. I don't want you to have to memorize another formula. I want you to just say, if nothing's given, now highlight B. He does not use any estimates. You need to highlight that because that means you're going to use 0.5 and 0.5. So here, 0.38 times 0.62 times 1.645 over, I done forgot, 0.02 squared. Somebody type that in. Now I need y'all to type these in because I didn't do them. I just wrote down the formulas. 0.5 times 0.5 times 1.645 over 0.02. All right, somebody give me decimal places to two decimal places on both of these. Somebody give me the first one.
1593.85.
And what's the second one?
That is 1691.27.
Okay, so I'm going to write this one down as 1594. And I'm going to write this one down as 1692. In the real world, that would probably be 1600. I would send out 1600 surveys. Here, I would send out 1700. So let's type them in. A is 1594. Feel good about ourselves. B is 1692. And put your cursor in there. Well done. When did Christopher Columbus discover America? 1492?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 1642? One of the two.
1492.
1492. And he was a racist. All right. Next. That's 37 and 37, so I'm taking those two off. 35. 9.1, 35/8. I feel like I'm doing y'all's homework, one right after the other. And this is the same question. A researcher wishes to estimate the proportion, blah, 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 what size sample is needed. Okay, so here we go. Our margin of error given. Oops. Let me turn my dash cam on. Sorry, Miss Billy, you done named my, that's what I'm gonna call it from now on, dash cam.
I thought that
Given.
sounded more interesting than document
Yep.
cam.
Miss Billy's gonna be on in her career, and she's gonna come back to Tri-County, and I'm still calling this dash cam. All right. Given. Let's see. Margin of error is equal to 0.01. 95% confidence level. And that gets a highlight. So we turn to our handy dandy index card. Is that 1.96?
Yes.
Y'all noticed anything after you do about 5 or 6 of these problems? What have you noticed?
Repetitive.
Same.
Yep.
I was coming into an issue where it was like 83% and 86%.
Yeah, that's the homework questions regenerating. And that would be, we'll do one of those. I've seen one of those questions. We'll do one of those. I can't remember if I did one or not. And A is P hat is equal to 0.46. Then Q hat is what? 0.54. B is 0.5. P hat is 0.5. Therefore, Q hat is 0.5. So here we're going to do 0.46 times 0.54 times 1.96 over 0.01 squared. 0.5 times 0.5, 1.96 over 0.01. And somebody give me to 2 decimal places, please. On the first
one is
What?
9542.
I'm sorry, do it one more
0.53.
time.
9542.53.
So that would be 9543. Type that in. 9543, and we feel good. And the next one,
That is 9604, and that's an even number.
9604. So that's the answer. 9604. Another test question. So you got, so far we've had 3 test questions. Okay, so that's that one. Let's delete that one now.
So Hubert,
That's
I don't know
30.
what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Like I typed in the same exact equation, but I got a whole different answer.
Okay, we're going to yours next because I didn't do yours. So let's see.
It was for that same question. Or actually, I think I know what I did.
Okay, so here we go. Given. Margin of error equals 0.03. 90% confidence level. Somebody look that up for me on the index card. What is it?
1.645.
And A is 0.28 P hat. And Q hat
0.72.
is equal to 0.72. B is 0.5 and 0.5. So 0.28 times 0.72, 1.645 over 0.03 squared, 0.5, oops, sorry, 0.5, 1.645 over 0.03 squared. Somebody give me the first one to 2 decimal places.
I got 606.15.
So that'd be 607. Good job, Miss Woodward. All right, somebody give me this one to 2 decimal places. I'm waiting.
751.673.
752. Knocked it out. Knocked it out of the park. Of course, on your test, Miss Woodward, I'm going to change all yours to read backwards. 9.135, that's done. 9.127/7. Okay. I don't know if you can see this one, but it's got like 4 parts. And it is not a test question. If it is, it's not my fault. In other words, sometimes these questions regenerate funny. I do not like A through E. To me, that's ridiculous for a test. So it is a homework question. And they're going to ask you to prove that it's a worthy question. So that you got to do the NPQ, and then you got to do 5% of N. Those 2 tests that I told you. First of all, you got to find P hat and Q hat. What do they give us? Well, let's see what they give us. In a random sample of 1,001 adults, do you think televisions are necessity or a luxury, or you could do without? Of the 1,001, okay, 522. At that point, you know right now, P hat. P hat equals X over N. That means what? 522 over 1,001, which gives me 0.5215. Did somebody say wait?
No, I was saying the same thing.
Okay. Therefore, Q hat is equal to, what did I write down? 0.4785. Now remember, NPQ has to be greater than 10. So let's write I'm going to write this in red. Y'all know what that means. Okay, 1A. NPQ, it's got to be greater than 10. And B, let's see, what is it? 0.05 big ass N is equal to, or got to be what? Greater than, what is it? Less than
or equal
yeah,
to.
it's got to be less than.
That's,
I can't remember. What is it? Somebody look it up. Is it greater than or less than? It's got to be greater than, right? Yeah, it always will be. It's got to be greater than what?
N. Small n.
Yes, thank you. I couldn't remember what it was. I kept wanting to put a 10 there. All right, that's why. Is it greater than? I think it is, because it always is. Because if you think about it, a random sample of how many adults are in America?
So
Well, there's 350 million people in America. Let's say that half of them are children. That's 125 million or 175 million. So that means 175 million are adults. So 0.05 of 175 million, well, 10% is 175,000, right? So 1% of that, I'm thinking, I think this is a big ass number. All right. That's going to be a big number. And that's going to be greater than, what is our N? 1,001. Let me ask you this. Is 5% of 175 million greater than 1,000? Yes.
yes.
And NPQ. So I need somebody to take 0.5215 times 0.4785 times 522 and tell me what you get.
130.2.
130 point ... is greater than 10. So does our two tests check out? That's part
Yes.
of this A through Z, okay? I don't know where it is, but so 521 or 522, 0.522 or 521. So it's 0.521. I must have rounded up with the fourth digit. There we go. The sample I'm looking. The simple, let's see, can be assumed to be, I guess it's assumed to be because you can't do exactly. It's stated. I don't like that stated. A simple random sample with the value of NPQ is, what's our value of NPQ? Y'all said it was 249.7. It don't say, it says round to 3 decimal places. 249.788. Did y'all get that? That's what I got. Which is greater than 10. And the population size, the sample size is stated to be, can be assumed less. Which one says can be assumed less? Can be assumed less. I hate these things. Can be assumed to be less than equal to 0.5 of the population size. Now, I hope I got all that right. Do I care if you know this? No, I do not. All right, but we're doing it. Let's see what I got right or wrong. Okay, I got something wrong. I think it's this one. The sample is 1,001. Let's see if it's stated to be. That's it. Please write that down and put it, that's what they want. Philadelphia lawyer must have wrote this question. Okay, so the sample is stated to be a simple random sample. The value NPQ is 249.788, which is greater than or equal to 10. That's the first test, okay? Everybody go back to the dash cam. This is the first part of that sentence. Okay, I don't know why they couldn't just ask you to do the math. I don't know why they got to put everything in a paragraph. The second part says the sample size, which is little n, can be assumed to be less than 5% of 175 million. And of course, that is the second part. Now, I don't know why they couldn't have just put, please do the test, and, you know, is both the tests satisfied or something like that. Okay, so that's part B. Oh. Okay, here we go. Construct and interpret. There we go, 95%. So I'm going to write that 95%. CL gives us 1.96. And they want to know error. They want to know the error. And E is equal to the z-score times what? This is the other formula. Somebody look in your notes. Z times the square root of P hat, Q hat over what?
N.
N. That's the other formula that you have to know for the test. The first one we've already used 2 or 3 times, and that is N. So I'm going to go back to black now. So that means 1.96 times the square root of 0.521 times 0.479 divided by 1001. Somebody crank that out for me, please. I've already done it, and it comes out to be 0.0309, which is equal to 0.03 margin of error, 3%. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that's all you need. Now, they do want you to put it in a confidence interval. And the confidence interval, you just take your p-value right here and add to the right, so p hat in the middle. Okay, somebody take 0.521 and add 3 cents. What do you get? 0.551, Hubert. And take 0.521 and subtract 3 cents. What do you get? 0.491, Hubert. Somebody check me. That is your confidence interval. Was it 0.491?
Yep.
That is your confidence interval. This is your margin of error. Now remember, I call margin of error Mo, so I'm going to put Mo right here so you won't get confused. Now, I don't know what they want, but that's C. Okay, so let's see what they want. Go back to the Philadelphia lawyer and see what he wants, she or she. We are 95% confident, or is it 90 or 95? 95% confident that it's going to fall between 0.491 and 0.551. Now, that's all I care about on the test. But we're only on what? C. So I don't have any idea what they're going to ask now. Is it possible that a supermajority, more than 60%, now you need to highlight that. Highlight this right here. Now, I'm not saying write the whole problem down, but you need to make a note on this problem. Supermajority is more than what? 0.6. Write that down. Is it possible that 60% of the nation believe that the television is a luxury, then they could do without it? Is it likely? Well, what did we just say? We said that we're 95% confident that P hat is going to fall between 49% and 55%. So what does that mean about 60%?
It won't come between those two.
It is what? Possible but not unlikely. Or not possible but not likely. Because remember, you don't want to say impossible. I don't know if that was one of the not possible. I wouldn't say not possible. It's either these two, because those are two good terms for statistics and probability. This is not. That's like saying impossible. Okay? Does not contain 0.6, because 0.6 is a supermajority. Oh, this is so repetitive. This is a good homework question. It's not a good test question. Use the results of Part C to construct a 95% confidence interval for the population proportion of adults in the country who believe that television is a necessity. Well, that would be Bass-Ackard's. you would subtract the lower bound from 1 to get your new lower bound. That would, or your upper bound. That would be 1 minus 0.552, which would be 0.448. It's the opposite. And this would be 0.509. That is not a test question, but that's how you do it. What's 1 minus, okay, right here. See that 0.551? Somebody take 1 and subtract 0.551. What do you get? Actually, you're going to get 0.449.
0.449.
Yeah. Okay, they've got a tolerance in here that you can play with. Now, and take 1 minus 0.491.
And that's it. 0.509.
What's the opposite of true? False.
False.
What's the opposite of black? White.
White.
So if I tell you that I want to find the necessity is the opposite of luxury. So you just take the opposite of both. To me, that's not a good part of this question. I can understand the D. I can understand D, but E to me is worthless. Okay, that's it. Let's get off that question because it's not a good question. The first 3 parts are okay, but all that other stuff is ridiculous. All right, so that's 9.127, delete. 9.121/6. In a survey, to blah, 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 53% thought that the pages were waived, blah, 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 the margin of error, blah, 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 blah. Parts 1 through D, which represent a reasonable interpretation for those that are not reasonable, explain the flaw. Okay, for right now, it looks like we're going to find a confidence interval because they're not asking for how many to survey. So we're either going to find a confidence interval or margin of error. No, there's a margin of error, 4 percentage points. For parts 8, okay, is the interpretation reasonable? We are 95% confident that 53 have put up, blah, 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 uncertain, felt wages, blah, 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 too low. Well, the margin of error is 4. So let me go to my handy dandy. I've never seen this question before, so let's see what we do here. Given. We're given quite a bit of stuff. N is equal to 2,075. P hat is equal to 0.53. Therefore, Q hat is equal to 0.47. Margin of error is equal to 0.04. And a 95% confidence level dictates 1.96. Now, the confidence interval is going to be P hat, and I'll do this in another color because that means I'm actually doing it. P hat is going to fall between, what's 53 plus 4? 57. And what's 53 minus 4?
49.
So our confidence interval is that. Now, I don't know what they want. They don't want N because they've already got N. They don't want a margin of error because they've already got margin of error. So let's see what this says. We are 95% confident of adults in the country, blah, 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 were too low. I'm going to read this question again. In 2075, adults in a certain country conducted during periodic, 53% thought that wages paid to workers in industry were too low. The margin of error is 4 percentage points with a 95% confidence, with 95% for parts A through E below, which represents a reasonable interpretation of the survey results. For those that are not reasonable, explain the flaw. 1, is the interpretation reasonable? We are 95% confident 53% of adults in the country I'm looking for I'm looking for a word that's different. I'm looking.
I think this is how all the questions A through D is on this question.
Yeah. Well, I don't see an interval. We had to figure the interval. The interpretation is reasonable. That 53% of those that are surveyed paid workers industry too low. I don't know exactly. I would say probably, since we don't have an interval, that's what I would say. We had to calculate the interval, but I don't know what they're asking. That's what they're asking. I guess is we had to calculate the interval. We are 91 to 99% confident. What? We're 91 to 95% confident of adults in the country during the periodic terms.
I think it's D.
What the hell is this question? I've never seen this question before. Thank you. You don't do that. You don't do a 91 to 99%. That's like walking into a meeting and saying, well, I'm 1% sure to 99% sure that our company is going to make money next year. Yeah, thanks a lot. You're fired. We are 95% confident that here we go. Now we're getting this. Now we're getting somewhere. We are 95% confident that the interval from 0.49, here it is. There it is right there. Contains, this is reasonable. Is that it? That's all? Okay, this is not a test question, but it could be a standardized test question. Why? Oh, it's not. In 95% sample of adults in this country during the proportion who believed were between 49 and 57. Well, that's the same thing that you just. That the interval sets the standard. Well, that's subjective. I mean, I guess because it comes first, I guess. This is not a good test question. Please let it be over. Thank God. The way that it's worded, and that's why I say it's subjective, in 95% of the population, the proportion who believes blah, blah, blah is between 49 and 57. The way that this is worded right here. In 95% of the samples, right there. They don't like that. It needs to say we are 95% what? Confident. If they change that, then it's going to be wrong. Okay, that's okay. They had somebody that wrote that question that likes to hear themselves talk, evidently, because that's too wordy. Not one of my favorite questions. I've never seen that question before, to tell you the truth. Let's see, delete 9.117/5. Okay. So what are we given? Let's write down what we're given. We are given, move this down a little bit. 95% confidence level dictates 1.96. X over N is P hat. P hat is equal to, I done lost it, 60 over 300.
That's where I was getting confused, Hubert, because it was saying that it's the confidence interval, not the confidence level.
It says construct a 95% confidence interval. That means, okay, that means that the confidence interval is based on a 95% confidence level. So I can understand why you're a little bit confused there. It's not really worded correctly, but it should say construct a confidence interval based on 95% confidence level. That's what it should say. So that cancels. That leaves with 6 over 30, which is equal to 1 over 5, which is equal to 0.2. Therefore, what is Q hat?
0.8.
0.8. Thank you. All right, so that's given. What else? Okay. So evidently they want us to find the margin of error, and that'll give us our lower bound and our upper bound. I'm assuming that's what they're wanting. So error is equal to, and we're going to take our z-score of 1.96 multiplied by the square root of 0.2 times 0.8 over, do we not have n? 300.
And it's 300.
Somebody crank that out, please.
I got
Give me 4 digits.
0.0453.
So if I was to raise that to 0.05, that would be 5%. So P hat is going to be between, let's see, where's 0.2? What's 20 cent plus 5 cent? 0.25. And what's 20 cent minus 0.5 or 5 cent?
So 0.15.
16 or 0.15. That should be your lower and upper limit. Now, I rounded mine to 0.05. They did not. They used that. So that's going to be 0.2 minus 0.045 and plus 0.045. So that's going to be 0.245 on the right side. And somebody take 0.2 and minus 0.045. What do you get?
I got 0.155.
Okay, well, that's not, then I did something wrong. Because I got 0.25 and 0.15. I must have subtracted wrong here. So that's what they did. I wonder if you type in 0.15, if it'll, no, it says round to 3, doesn't it? 0.15 and 0.25. I know it probably won't take it. Yeah, I don't like it. But that's the formula that they used. So if you do the 3 digits, you should get the same thing they got. I don't know why I'm not. So it's right here. All you got to do is 0.2. Make sure I did. What's 60 divided by 300? Make sure it's 0.2.
Yeah, you just need to, the lower bound would be 0.155, and then the upper bound would be 0.245.
Okay, I just didn't 245. Like that? There we go. Okay, I must have just did it Okay, 245 and 0.155. Okay.
Do you mind showing?
Yes. What's your question?
The lower bound, upper bound.
What about it?
Just show the work that you did to get it. I didn't get the
Okay.
last part. I have to.
Okay, it can be, you can take it, do this 0.2 minus 0.045, and that'll give you your lower bound, and 0.2 plus 0.045, and that'll give you the upper bound.
Okay. Thank you.
You do it just like standard deviation and the mean. You add, instead of adding 3 on the right and 3 on the left, with the error, you just add 1 on the right and 1 on the left. That's the test question. I just wasn't used to, I'm not used to going to 3 digits with the margin of error. I think that's why I messed that up. I didn't mess it up. I just didn't give it what it wanted. Okay.
So
That's
Hubert,
done.
I think what
Yes.
I was doing wrong was I was doing for the lower bound and the upper bound, I was doing the subtraction and the addition, but I was also multiplying by the square root of the, I want to say, the lower bound times 1 minus the lower bound over, I think it's n. I'm not sure.
No,
Yeah,
I
and-
don't know where you got all that. No. You just need to do this right here. This gives you the margin
Yeah,
of error.
that equation right there. But
Now,
instead of doing the
some people do
1.96,
this, and the book does this. I don't like this. They take and they do the confidence interval on the right is equal to the p hat plus bracket 0.2 times 0.8 times the square root of 0.2 times 0.8 divided by 300. And they'll
yes,
do that.
that's what I got stuck doing, and that's where I was
Okay.
getting the wrong answer.
All right, well, I do this at the end, okay? This is your margin of error formula right there in the brackets. So you might want to highlight that, because all you're doing is, that's why I do it separately, because if you do it separately, it's less confusing, okay? There's the margin of error. That's this, y'all recognize that, right? PQ times square root of PQ over N, okay? Oh, wait a minute, it's supposed to be Z, isn't it? Yeah, sorry, Z. Let's mark that out, it's supposed to be Z. Z, okay? Now, what do you do on the left side? C, I, left. Do you add it or subtract it from P hat?
Subtract.
You subtract it. And that's what they do in the book. Z times square root of 0.2 times 0.8 divided by 300. Okay, I don't do it like this. I find the margin of error first. Right here, I do this. And then I take 0.75 or whatever is my P hat. And then I add the margin of error on this side. And then I subtract the margin of error on this side. Okay? Just like you did your standard deviation and your mean. Except you don't go 3 to the right and 3 to the left. You only go what? 1 to the left, one to the right, add, and 1 to the what? Left, subtract. You can either do it this way, like I do it, or you can do it this way, like the book does it. You'll get the same answer. You should get the same answer. Does that help you, Miss Woodward?
Yeah.
All right,
Thank
next
you.
one. That takes care of 17. 9, 1, 11. That don't sound right. 9, 1, 11. 911, that was 2000, what, 9/11, that was, when was that? 2001?
I think it's 2001, 2000.
Oh my gosh, 9/11/1. That's weird. That's creepy. All right, so 9/11, 9/1/11/4. Let's see what this one says. First of all, is it a test question? That last one was a test question. You could, yeah. Okay, this one gives you the lower bound and upper bound. It says determine the point estimate. Point estimate means p hat. So here we got to find p hat because it says find the point estimate. Margin of error, blah, 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 for the sample size provided. My lower bound given, lower bound is 0.506. Upper bound is 0.874. And N is equal to 1200. Now, before we get started, they give you this and this, okay? So the confidence interval is equal to, braces, 0.506 less than p hat less than 0.874. There's the confidence interval. Now I want you, and everybody in here should be able to find p hat. And you're gonna get it from right here. Everybody in here should be able to find p hat. Just remember the midpoint. Somebody tell me how you find the midpoint. Go back to the first unit. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You average those two numbers.
So midpoint, which is that right there, if you look at it, and at the middle is equal to your lower bound plus your upper bound divided by what? 2. So this is equal to 0.506 plus 0.874 divided by 2. Well, that's going to make a 10.
0.9.
7, that's going to be an 8. And 8, I have no idea what that is. 13. Somebody check my math. Somebody add 87 cents and 5 cents. That's not right. Is it?
I got 0.943. I think that's wrong.
No, that's 50 cents. That's 50 cents and 87 cents. It should be
You have
$1.38.
it right.
And now I'm going to divide this. Well, 2 will not go into 13, but close, it'll be 6 cents, 60 cents. 6, 12, leave 18. 2 will go into 18, 6. Y'all check my math.
0.69.
69. I suck. 0.69. Oh, 2 will go into 18, 9 times. Okay, so there is our p hat. P hat is nothing but the midpoint. If you're given a lower bound and an upper bound, it's the midpoint. Now you can find out what your margin of error is. That's probably what they're going to ask you. So now p hat is equal to 0.69. Q hat is equal to 0.41. Now, somebody tell me, if I've got my midpoint now of 0.69, somebody tell me how I find my margin of error. If I have a midpoint and a lower bound or an upper bound, how can I find the margin of error? what do we do to get the margin of error? What do we do to get the confidence interval on the right-hand side or the left-hand side? What do? We add on the right and subtract on the left. So what do you do if you want to find the difference between these two numbers or the difference between these two numbers?
You just subtract that.
So somebody do that for me. What is 0.874 minus 0.69?
I got 0.184.
Somebody take 0.69 and subtract 0.506.
Same thing.
It's a miracle. So the margin of error is 18.4%, which means this data is crappy. Now, I have no idea what they're going to ask, but that's what you can get from this information right there. That's the only thing you can do with this information. Now that you've got P and Q, you could actually find N, which you've already got, so there's no reason for you to find the N. The point estimate is 0.69. The margin of error is, what did we say, 0.184. Now, I'm not trying to make anybody feel bad, but this problem is nothing but what? Basic what? Basic math. Right over here, all this is nothing but basic math. Your midpoint, you add and divide by 2. And then once you get that middle, all you do is subtract it from this side, or you subtract this from this side, however you want to do it. The number of individuals in the sample with a specified characteristic. Okay, that means we got to do P hat backwards. Okay, this is algebra. So I'm going to do this in pink. No, yeah, pink. I'm going to do this down here. P hat is equal to what? X over N, right? Everybody, oops, sorry, dash cam. Everybody see P hat is equal to X over M? Everybody got that?
Yes.
What do we have? Tell me what numbers we have.
We have P hat, we have Q
P
hat,
hat, and we have what?
and we have N.
X over 1200. So how do we get X by itself? How do we get rid of dividing by 1200?
Multiply by the reciprocal.
Multiply both sides by 1200. Somebody do that for me, please.
I got 828.
So 828 people believe that blah, blah, blah is blah, blah, blah. And that's, you're going to type that in right here. 828. I like that question. Why would I like this question? I mean, it's not rocket science. I mean, it's not, you don't have to do any formulas hardly. Why do I like this problem?
It's very
Because you have to
fundamental.
what? Starts with a T. Think. That's why I like this problem. Is some of y'all's brains hurting because you had to think a little bit?
This math just hurts my head anyway.
You just want to be difficult, Miss Woodward.
That's me.
That's what this is. Had you for 2 or 3 semesters. You just want to be difficult. All right, next. This is probably you and Miss Billy. This is y'all's last semester with me. I'm not going to see y'all anymore. Y'all through with y'all's math. Y'all can come back and take math as an elective. 8.29/5. 8.29/5. I done forgot what 8.2 is. Oh, well. Oh, this is MPQ. Oh, this is the test. Okay. Describe the sample distribution of p hat. Assume the size of pop. Okay, what are we given? Given, let me take my dash cam, bring it up. So given p hat n, okay, size population is equal to 30,000. I think they want you to do the test here. N is equal to 600. P is equal to 0.251. Therefore, Q is equal to point what? 749. Somebody check that, please. Somebody take 0.251 from 1, please.
Yeah, you got that right.
Okay, and what's the first test? NPQ has got to be greater than what? 10. And the second test is, I always forget it, 0.05 big N is less than or greater than or equal to, I think both of them are greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to little n. So 0.251 times 0.749 times n is 600. Well, let's use a little bit of common sense. This right here is 3/4. So let's just do half. What's half of 600? I mean, yeah, what's half of 600?
300.
300.
Okay, and if you add another half of that, it's about what? Let's see, 600, 300. So what, 450? Maybe 450. And then 2%, 1 or 20%, 10% of 450 is 45. 20% would be 90. So I'm just by guessing 90 is greater than 10. So I'm somebody crank that out for me and give me the actual numbers.
It's like 113.
So it's one what?
113.
113 is greater than or equal to 10. Now, why did I do this? Because I don't have a calculator and I can use my brain. Okay, somebody tell me what the population, that's equal to big ass N. So what's 10% of 30,000? We're gonna use common sense. What's 10% of 30,000?
30, right?
3,000.
Or 3,000.
3,000. You drop a 0. Okay. So what is 5%? If 10% is 3,000, then what's half of 3,000?
1,500.
So 1,500 is greater than or equal to 600. True or false?
True.
So they're both good. So we're going to take our handy dandy green marker and we're going to put a check mark there in green and a check mark there in green. And then they're going to ask us something else. Well, mu is going to be the same. Write that down. M, and we'll do this in another color. This is part B. This is A. And this is B. Mean of X bar, or the mean X bar, is going to be equal to 0.251. Now, what do we have to do? The standard deviation changes. Okay. We've got to find, okay, mu p hat. There we go, p hat. And the standard deviation p hat is going to be equal to, they're supposed to give us, we don't have the standard deviation, so we can't use. Hold on a second. I'm looking for verification here. There it is. There it is. PQ over N. That's what I thought. I wanted to make sure. So that's equal to the square root of PQ, and y'all see this in 9.1. Sorry. PQ over N. And that's equal to 0.251 times 0.749 over 600. Somebody crank that out for me, please.
I got 0.0177.
Which is 0.018 or 0.02, depending on how they want you to round. And that's it. 0.018 says round to 3 decimal places. That's a good test question. I have no problem with that being a test question. I think it's a little bit, I would rather see just the test. I would say this is 2 good test questions. This is a good test question, this part, and then this part right here would be another test question. But they put it together. It's not a big deal. A through C, I don't have to worry about. A through the freaking alphabet, I don't like. That takes care of that one. 8.27/4. 8.27/4. Same type question. What are we given? What do we need? I'm going to let y'all do this one. I got to go turn my TV off. There's somebody talking on it, and it's bull crap, and I don't want to listen to it. And he likes to sniff females' hair. I don't want to listen to it. Y'all don't have any idea who I'm talking about, do you?
I think I have an idea.
He loves to sniff hair. And kids
Hairy
love
legs.
to play with hairy legs. Hairy legs. Oh my God. Sorry. I'm sorry. I can't handle it. All right. So what are we given? I love these silver Sharpies. God, I love them. So it says population. This one's dead. Shoot. And y'all can't see it, and y'all gonna start hollering, so I'm worried about you do that. Especially Miss Woodward, she'll start hollering. Let's see.
I'm blind, Hubert.
Oh, what?
I said, I'm blind.
You said that, I didn't. All right. Our population is equal to 1,500 or 1,000, which is big ass N. Little n is equal to 700, and P is equal to 0.2, therefore Q is equal to 0.8. A, NPQ has got to be greater than 10. B, 0.05 of big N has to be greater than or equal to little n. Now, I'm not going to use a calculator because I don't want to. So N, 700 times P. Okay, well, let's do this one. What's 10% of 700? 70, Hubert. So what would 20% be? 140? So 140 times 0.8. Well, what's 10% of 140? 14. 14 times 8 is 112. I got 112 is greater than 10. What'd y'all get?
That's what I got.
It's a miracle. So we get to get our little green pen and we can put a green check mark beside that one. Now, that big number. What is 10% of 15,000? 1,500, Hubert. That's right, class. You drop a 0. And what is half of 1,500?
750.
Is 750 greater than 700? Yes.
I would say so.
So you can actually do that. Now you just have to do what you need to do. So we know that the mu is going to be equal to P. Mu sub P hat is equal to 0.2. And standard deviation of P hat is equal to the square root of 0.2 times 0.8 divided by 700. And I need somebody to crank that out for me. Give me 3 digits, please.
I got 0.015.
And that seems like, yeah, that's right. So there's 2 good test questions from 8.2. I don't know if there's any left in 8.2. We'll go look. Yep, still got some. That's 8.27. 8.223/11. A researcher studying public opinion of proposed Social Security changes obtains a simple random sample of 30. So I'm just going to put given. I don't even know if I need that or not. Random sample equals 30. And ask them whether or not they support proposed changes. To say that the distribution of the sample proportion of adults who respond yes is approximately normal. How many more adult Americans does the researcher need to sample in the following cases? A, 10% of all adults support the changes. Support changes. B, 15% of all adult support changes. Okay. Well, they only give us 30, so there's only one thing we can do. That the check, I mean, but they're going to give us the 10 and make it 90. It seems like this, why don't, they should have put that. Yeah. Oh, they want you to solve. Okay, that's fine. I didn't know they wanted you to, that's what they're doing. They're wanting you to solve it. Okay. So solve for N. So N, P, Q has got to be greater than or equal to 10. And in this case, like they said, I want to make sure that's what they, yeah, MPQ is greater than or equal to 10. That's right. And they're setting it equal to 10. Okay. Equal to 10. And now we want to solve for n, then that means that we've got to divide by PQ.
If you're writing something, we can
I'm
only see
sorry.
the question.
I'm sorry. Okay. So n is equal to 10 divided by PQ. And the same thing over here. So this one, they shouldn't have used the same number here as there. They should have changed this to, they should have put the 25 and 30 because it messes up a lot of students. So that's going to be n is equal to 10 divided by 0.1 times 0.9. Somebody tell me what that is, please. What is 10 divided by 0.1 times 0.9?
I got 111.11.
111.11, which is equal to 112. So that first one is going to be 112. Now, I don't agree with this question for one reason. They got 82. What did I do wrong? Did I assume that 0.1 was... I don't know this question, so let me look. PQ 10 over 12%. Yeah, I did it. No, wait a minute. Where'd they get the 12? Oh, here it is. Yeah. There's 10%. Did I do the math wrong? 0.9. 10 divided by 0.1 times 0.9. Check your math. Check your calculator. And this would be 15%. I'll pull it up. $10 divided by
That's what I got. I
parentheses,
got
0.1 times 0.9, close parentheses. I don't understand how they got that. I don't understand how they got 82. Let me see if this one's going to be the same. That
That's
would
what I was
be,
running into the other day.
I'm sorry, what?
That's what I was running into the other day. I was doing the formulas right, but they were giving me a way oddball number.
Yeah, 10 divided by 0.15 times 0.85. So take my handy dandy calculator and take clear 10 divided by parentheses 0.15 times 0.85. Y'all check my calculator with yours. I got 78.43.
Same thing.
Let's see. 79. Okay, I have no idea what they're doing because I just followed what they were doing, and see, let's just see what they're doing here. 12% and 17%. Everybody see that? Okay. NPQ, solve for N, 10 over PQ. Okay, there's 0.12, so Q would be 0.88. Somebody take 1 minus 0.12, what do you get? And somebody do that calculation right there. I'll do it.
I got 0.88 for the 1 minus
Okay,
0.12.
that's what I'm doing, y'all. I'm doing that. Let's see, 10 divided by parenthesis 0.12 times 0.88. Close parentheses. Okay, something's wrong with this question because y'all see I got the same thing they got.
That's why I was getting confused, Hubert, because I was doing it along with the example just so I could make sure I was doing it right. And then I would do it with those numbers and I was getting answers like that.
Yeah, I think this one's wrong. So if you get one like that, ask the publisher. Calculator, answer evaluation. What did we get?
112 and 78.43.
I got, and this Billy, you gonna get this back. I got, what's the first one?
We got
You're right.
111.11.
Priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
Show me what the second one we got. We got a 78.43.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, in about 2 or 3 days, Miss Billy, you should get something back.
Okay.
That, I don't understand how we did it exactly like, I don't know. Let's see if there's another one like that one. No. Let's do another one and let's hit a similar question. This is the same, is this the same one? Yeah. 2,400 to 156,600. 3. If we get the next one right, that means that somebody programmed the wrong answers in that question. Does everybody understand? All right, so here we go. Let's do this one and let's see what we get. Okay. I like this one because they don't have a 10. That 10 throws a lot of people off. N, P, Q is greater than or equal to 10. N, P, Q is equal to 10. N is equal to 10 divided by PQ. N is equal to 10 divided by 0.2 times 0.8. And I'm just going to type in, well, my calculator's gone. Sucks. Damn Russians. There we go. So I'm going to hit second answer. No, second entry. Shoot. There we go. And I'm going to type in 0.2 and 0.8. Everybody got that? And I got 62.5, which is equal to 63. So we're going to go back to the handy dandy homework and type in 63. Okay, I have no idea. Let's do help me solve this and see what it says. Okay, what's 10? We just did that. What's 10 divided by 0.2 times 0.8? That's what I just did. Y'all check me and make sure that am I reading that right? That's 0.8, right?
Yeah.
I got 63. Oh my gosh. Will you look at that? Oh, this is what they're leaving out. They're leaving that part out. So now take 63 minus 30. They forgot that little part, Miss Woodward. That's nice to know. Miss Woodward, did you see that little part that they left out?
Yeah, and it wasn't even in the example at all.
I know. 63 minus 30, you got to subtract that. Well, we all learned something today. 63 minus 30 is 33. Oh, well, it's a different problem now. 15%. So let's do this one since we know what they're doing now. So that's going to be N is equal to 10 over 0.15 times 0.85. Take our calculator, second answer or second entry, and I'm going to change this to 0.15 and change this to 0.85, and that's 79. Now, what do they give us? They give us 30. So what's 79 minus 30?
49.
I'm surprised somebody didn't say something. Why didn't y'all say something? $20. So nobody's going to say anything. Y'all just going to say it was your fault, Hubert. N is equal to 10 over 0.2 times 0.8. Somebody give me that number, please. I'm not going to type it in.
It was 62.5.
So 63. And what's 63 minus 30?
32.5.
Well, we're going 33. It kind of helps to have that little step in there, Miss Woodward and Miss Billy. It kind of helps to have that in there. Sorry, I'm just glad I'm glad I didn't rely on Help Me Solve This or the other one because it didn't even show it. Okay, that is not a test question that I know of. Okay. They probably think we're crazy, but it's not in the, we need to send it back and say, it's not in the Help Me Solve This, or which one is it not in? It's not in the Help Me Solve
Example.
This.
It's in the Help Me Solve This.
Okay, delete. All right, 8.2, 18/9. We're running out of time. We got, what, 6 minutes?
Yeah.
Somebody check me. Because I don't want some of y'all spontaneously
About-
combusting.
7, 8 minutes.
Some of y'all will go into heart defibrillation. According to a survey in a country, 23% of adults do not own credit cards. That is a good thing. P is equal to 0.23, therefore Q is equal to 0.77. I'm just writing stuff down right now. Suppose a simple random sample of 500 adults is obtained. Random sample equals 500. Complete parts A through D. So let's go ahead and do the test. So the first test, NPQ is got to be greater than or equal to 10. Well, 500, this is going to be pretty easy. What's 10% of 500?
50.
So what's 20%? Okay, let's try that again.
100.
What's 10? Good. So 20% is 100. And that'd be 115, something like that. Okay, so 115 times Q. Well, what's 10% of 115? 11.5, Hubert. And what's 11.5 times 7? 77.5. So we way over. Of course, somebody needs to calculate that. Tell me what you really get. That's approximate. That's guessing. So take NPQ, which would be 500 times 0.23 times 0.77. What do you get?
I got 88.55.
88.55. And of course, I already said it was greater than 10. So however you want to do it, either in your head or in the calculator. So now let's do B, and that's 0.05 of the population is got to be greater than or equal to little n. According to survey in a country. Now they don't specify what country it is. I don't know how they're going to do the country if you don't know what country it is. If it was United States, it was American, you could say, okay, there's 350 million people in America. And 350, we already established, is going to be very big and is always going to be above 500. So I don't know how they're wanting to do this one. Let's see, what did they get? We got 855 is greater than 10. So I guess that's, I don't know. Let's see. The answer is C. That's what I was thought of. Oh, the answer is A. I'm just curious how they did that first part, because that's what we did. Okay, where is the that's one right. Does anybody see where they took the population and multiplied it by 0.05? Does anybody see that? No. My head's starting to hurt.
Bet you found it in there.
According to a survey in a country. Wait a minute. I don't understand how they come to this conclusion. The sample size 500 is 5% of 10,000. Yeah, but how do you, they are assuming that this is true by saying 500 is 5% of 10,000.
I was gonna say, where's the 10,000 come from?
This right here, according to a survey, blah, 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 blah. And then they're coming down and they're saying 5% of 10,000 is, and all you would have to do, I don't know if this is right. Let me go back. This question doesn't give, some of these questions I've never seen before. They must be new. According to a survey, 23%, okay, 500, they're basically saying that 500 is what percent is 5% of what number? Is of percent. 5 over 100 is equal to is of, and that's going to be 5x is equal to, and that's going to be 5 and then 4 zeros, divide by 5, x is equal to 10,000. So that's our population, but they're assuming, what they're doing is they're assuming this part right here is true. Does everybody see what I'm talking about? The first part, the 5% of n, does everybody see that? They're assuming that before they start the question. So the answer is A. They're assuming this right here, because the only thing they've given us is 23%, which is P, and they gave us 500. Of course, none of y'all are talking, so I don't know if y'all understand what I'm talking about. The N is equal to 0.05 N. I just did that right here. Okay? This is assuming that 0.05 N is equal to little n. Does everybody understand what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So Hubert, is that pretty much saying like if there's no population size given and it's just
Yeah.
giving you the random sample, just assume that that's 5%?
That's what I just got from the help me solve this, because it says right here, if you look, help me solve this, it says that they're giving you that right there. The shape of the distribution, p hat, is normally approximated. And then they go down here and they say the sample size is 5% of 10,000. So that's saying, assuming that this right here is met, that n is equal to 0.05, they're getting that 10,000. So now you got the population, and we already did this, evaluate MPX. What did we get? Oh, we hadn't done that yet. NPX, somebody do that for me. Let me write that down. NPX is going to be let's get rid of this. 0.23, crap. N 0.23 times 0.77. I've already done that. Yeah. Oh, we're on B. Okay, we did B. B was an assumption. I don't know. I don't know about this one. Next. And you notice they skip this part. They skip that part there. In other words, you just assume it. And that's going to be 0.23. And then the standard deviation, that's going to be, we already done this in other problems. That's going to be what? The p hat is equal to the square root of n, or pq over what? N? I need somebody to calculate this for me, please. 0.23 times 0.77 divided by 500, please. Give me,
I got
give me 4 digits.
0.0188.
Point what?
0188.
Everybody got that?
Yeah, I got that too.
So that's 3 decimal places, 0.019. Now, I don't mind these two questions. What's the mean and what's the standard deviation? I just don't agree with you assuming this part right here and actually doing this part right here. I don't agree with that. So I could be crazy, but What is the probability that in a random sample of 500 adults, more, okay, what does that mean? More than 26%. Okay, they want you to do a mean and a standard deviation. The mean is point what? 23. And we're going to add, let's see, we're going to add what? 0.02. So that's going to be 25. That's going to be 27. That's going to be 29. It's going to be 21, 19, and 17. Y'all check my math. And if 500 people are randomly selected, more than 26%, 26% is going to be where? Let me get another color. 26%. What does it say? More than 26%. So use your calculators. If you got an old calculator, you're going to have to change it to a z-score. 0.26 minus 0.23 divided by, and remember our new z-score is going to be what? The standard deviation, which is 0.0188. Somebody give me that z-score. Looks like it's going to be 1.5. What is it?
Yeah, I got 1.6.
1.6 what?
1.60.
Okay, now that's 1.60. Somebody find out the area between 1.60 and 9999 and tell me what it comes out to be.
I got 0.055.
0.0550?
0.0553.
Got to have 4 digits. Remember, it's area. So that should be right here, 0.0553. I'm trying to, okay. If 100, that would be 6 people. 6 people. I'm trying to show y'all what I did, but we got 15 freaking parts. What is the probability that between 21 and 26%? All right, I'm gonna let y'all do that one. Well, I'm out. I'm sorry. I can't do any more. Okay, I'll show you what to do here. 21 and 26%. What?
I got 0.801.
Okay, 21 and 26%. And that's pink. And you do the same thing. What'd you get?
I got 0.801.
0.801 what?
It was just that. Or I mean, it was just
010.
Mhm.
Okay, and that would be 80 people. Okay, I'm not doing any more. Good gosh. This A through D crap is about to get on my nerves.
That D
Okay.
was the one I was confused on.
What?
The part D. I'm sorry.
What did it say? Well, we'll just me and Miss Billy will continue. If anybody wants to stay, let me get the roll right quick. Let me hit the camera. Let me hit presentation and let me go over and get, because I know some of y'all y'all go into convulsions if you don't hurry up and go somewhere. So let me pull up my faculty attendance. Oh, come on. I get so sick of this. I have to go to freaking Firefox so I can take the roll because attendance tracker, log in, attendance tracker, 1/20/12, select, and Billy Flores Hall. Billy Chinvert's not here. Flores Hall, Herring Howard King, Herring Howard King, Osorio Woodward Yates, Osorio, okay, she wasn't here. Smith wasn't here. Woodward, Yates, and Young. Okay. All right, those of you that have to go, you can go. I'm going to try to do D right quick.
Hubert,
And-
there was something in the chat where there was somebody that was here but had to go.
Okay. Ruiz Serrano. Okay, thank you. Let me fix that. Ruiz Serrano. I love that name, Serrano. Okay. All right, so that's done. Now let me go back to, let's go to deleted. Hopefully I can find that. Deleted. Oh gosh, let's see. Subject. Oh my Lord, do you remember what number it was, Miss Billy?
I think it's number 9.
Oh,
It's
God.
a 8.29/5.
Hold on, I can't even work this stupid. Why don't it give me the date newest on top? Well, that should be. Oh, Lord. 9.1 what? That's 9.1.
No, it's not. It is.
You said it was 8 point what?
It's 8.2. I think it
8.2.
was 18/9.
There it is. 8.2, 18.
Yeah.
Is that
You
it?
ready?
Yeah, this is it. Item forgot. Let's see. That's final check. Point.
I can't see anything,
63.
Hubert.
Okay, hold on. Okay, we said that was 0.0188. Okay, hell, I don't know, 0.019, whatever you want.
Yeah.
I'm irritated. Y'all just have to excuse me. Probability is 0.0553 and 0.801. .801. And that's going to be 8. Oh, God.
It's 80.
Oh, 80. Thank you. All right. Now, you said that D was the part. Would it be
Yeah, that
unusual for random sample to result in 105 or fewer? So 105 or fewer. Well, 105. Well, somebody, what's 105 divided by 500? That's just going to be a percentage, I would assume. 105 divided by
0.21?
500.
Oh, wait.
What does 105 divided by 500 come out to be?
0.21.
0.21.
What? Should be
0.21.
0.21.
Yes.
Well, that's going to be greater because 0.21 is greater than, now, I'm thinking, hold on. I think it's going to be not unusual because it's greater than 5%. So where is not unusual? D? .21. Okay, I must have read something. Let me
I
read
think
the
it's
question.
I think it's C, Hubert.
I know, but I'm trying to figure out how they doing it. Would it be unusual? So that means we got to find an area. That right there means we got to find an area. 500 adults to result. Oh, 105 is in. I'm sorry. So we've got to divide. We've got to take. We have to do a new. That would be. Good gosh, this is a pain. This question is a pain. There's 4 test questions on this one. That means that they're going to take 0.23 times 0.77 and divide by 105. Is I reading that correctly? I'm not understanding the question. You said it was C?
I think it's C.
Yeah, but I don't have that number. I don't point to C. Hold on a second. I'm going to have to look and see how they're doing it. The 105 is throwing me off. B, C, D. Where's D? Is this D? Good golly molly. Okay, D didn't even show up. Why would it be unusual? Determine the probability at 312. They're doing an UP hat. That's what they're doing.
And that's what we did when we did the 2-1, isn't it?
Take, it'd be 105 over 500. Yeah. So I was
That's
right.
what we just did. Yeah.
Okay. So I was right. And 0.21, I'm looking, hold on. So 0.39, we got 0.21. So that would be on here, 0.21 would be right here. Oh, I'm sorry. 0.21 would be right here, and I need to know this area. So somebody give me this area from negative 9999 to 0.21. What is that area? Give me 4 digits, please.
0.5831 or 32.
That's too big. That's way over. That's going to be 0.5832. .58.
Hubert, our mean, is the
What?
mean 0.23?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said, is the mean 0.23?
The mean at the beginning is, yes, 0.23.
Oh. Now, wouldn't we use that to find the area?
Hell, I don't know what they're asking. I'm so confused right now. It should be 0.21. 0.23. Yeah, see, they got 0.14. See, I don't know how they're getting that. I don't know how they're getting that at all.
Hubert, what I did, when I did the normal CDF and I put the 0.21 in and I used 0.23 and the 0.019, I got 0.14625.
What did you type in again?
I did the normal CDF
Yeah.
with the negative 0.999 and the
Oh, I'm
0.21.
sorry. I gave you 999. Should be negative 999. And what did you get?
how many digits is it? It's 4. It's
Yeah,
0.1463.
that's probably it. Let me see if they give you a. Evidently, that's it. Okay, let me move on. I don't want to spend no more time on that question. That question is awful. Okay, Miss Billy, did you see what I did? Take the 105 and divide it by 500.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many people. Well, we're out of class, so if y'all want to stay, that's fine. But I've got class coming up, so that's number 8. Let me go back to where we were. Okay, that takes care of that one. Well, this one's 8. Yeah, 18. Okay, this is 16. There's 2 of them. 16, 8.
Hubert, I gotta take off, but I wanted to say
Go
thank
ahead.
you for all your help.
Yeah, thank you for being in the class and being interactive. Thank you very much. All right, this one is, okay, this is Philadelphia lawyer stuff right here. According to a study conducted in a statistical organization, the proportion of people who are satisfied with the way things are going is 0.74. So that would be P. Suppose a random sample of 100 people is obtained. There's your new N. Okay, there's your answer there. It says the sample proportion is a random sample because of p-values from the sample. The variability is due to the fact that the different people feel differently regarding their satisfaction. Describe the sample distribution. Okay, that's where we do the test. Okay, since the sample size is no more than 5% of the population size, and MPQ is equal to 19. Okay, you know how to get that. Okay, and the sample obtained, blah, 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 exceeds 0.77. All right, so that means we've got, let's see, what does this say? So the mean is 0.74. And the standard deviation, we've got to do NP over, so that means the square root hold on a minute, I'm looking. Okay, that's P, 0.74. So in this problem, I'm sorry I got all flustered with that last problem, but it was out of the bleh. All right, so we've got P hat is equal to 0.74, therefore Q hat, I keep forgetting to do this, Q hat is equal to 0.26. But we also know that the mean P hat is equal to 0.74. So we need to do a standard deviation of p hat, which is equal to the square root of NP or NQ or PQ over N. So that's going to be the square root of 0.74 times 0.26 divided by, what's our N? 100. So you need to do that calculation right quick. What do you get? I'll do it with you. 0.74 times 0.26 divided by 100 raised to the 0.5 power. I got 0.0439.
That's what I got.
So our standard deviation for p hat is equal to 0.0439, which is 0.05. So draw your curve. 0.74, 0.79, 0.84, 0.89, 0.69, 0.64, 0.59. Check my math there, but that should be your grid. I don't know what they're going to ask next. Let's see. Okay, 0.77. Now, what do they want? Above exceeds 0.77. So 0.77 is going to be right in here. You have a new calculator or old calculator?
I have a new.
All right, then type in mu is equal to 0.74. Standard deviation is 0.0439. And then go from 0.77 to 9999. What do you get? 4 digits.
Is that 0.2472?
And that's your answer. That exceeds 77. We got it a little bit more detailed. They got 0.2470. The reason is they probably rounded this either to 0.044. I rounded it to 0.05. They probably rounded to 0.044. So that's probably, yeah, they did right here. So if you type in, change your calculator to your standard deviation instead of 0.0439, change it to 0.044, and you should get the right answer.
.2477.
Zero. Should be 0.2470. Well, you got close to it on the first one. This should be, what did you get?
This time I got 0.2477.
Second VARS, normal CDF. Lower is 0.77. Upper is 9999.
Oh, I did
Mean
0.999.
0.74. And the standard deviation is 0.044. That should give you what they got. 0.2477. I don't know. They got 0.2471. Oh, they got, okay. They've got, see all those different answers? Can you see
Oh,
what I'm,
okay, yeah.
you're okay. That's okay. All right, using the distributed, the unusual revealed 66 or fewer. So 66 or fewer. We'll do that in green. 66 or fewer. All right, I need you to type in 0.66 and negative 9999 for the lower. And give me that area, 4 digits.
I got 0.0345.
And that should be your answer. Yep, right there. And that's unusual because it's less than a nickel. Okay, that's enough. I'm done. That takes care of these two. Delete, delete. Do you need this one? Good gosh. I don't think I can go any further. I'm done.
That's all right. I'm
Is there
about to
any
go
more-
to tutoring.
Got most of
So-
those now?
Yeah.
If you can do the ones that I'm done, you should be able to do these. All right.
Thank you.
Take another math next semester with me.
I'm out of electives. Tri-County booted me out of all my electives.
They
my
moved- yeah,
majors.
you're gonna have to go to Clemson now, ain't you?
Yeah.
All right. Be good. Good luck.
Thank
Let me
you.
know if you need anything, okay?
I will.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.